is an unexpected stream. It's really dark outside. It isn't usually dark. It is absolutely boiling here in Scotland, in Scottish terms. Anywhere else, it's probably just a pleasantly balmy evening.
But I'm slowly dying at this side. The temperature is above 10 degrees.
Yeah, well above 10 degrees. In fact, if I leaned out the window, I could see, because we've got a garage outside that has a temperature on it, but I'm not going to. Andy and I have yet to go out for our evening walk. I'm sure you'll all be interested to know that. We shall be doing it after this stream. So what are we doing tonight? Well, as I mentioned on the stream on Saturday night, Andy at the end went off on an Andy chat about the Patreon and the Discord server and everything that it had on it. And so I suggested off the cuff that we meet midweek and screen share and show you all around. So that's
which, of course, you just reminded me of when I was previously discussing on Discord about possibly doing some mapping stream this evening, which sounds marvelous, and we might do it afterwards if we still have time and Lindsay doesn't drag me out for a walk.
To be fair, it was Mark Gibbons who reminded you, and then I had to explain to you what Mark was reminding you about.
Long COVID memory lapses on my side. I was like, what? What stream? What? We said we do a stream. Oh.
So I'm just going to pop this on because we are indeed live right now.
We are. This is super exciting. So first thing first, as we move around with our different background streams, we have a screen because we now have inside the Rookery Patreon. So let's have a wee chat about that before we go. Are we on the wrong page? Or are we on the right page here? Oh, it's shifted again, hasn't it? We're on the whole. That's why it resized itself, because it's showing everything. So we've got our inside the Rookery Patreon now. If I go to the public page here, it will show you all the different levels that we have. Now this is because here we go, we're live with mouse screaming around all over the place as well, because this is not planned. We have our Patreon. Our Patreon is to support us streaming weekly with insider guests in the role-playing and gaming industry, where we chat with our pals about the stuff that we love doing, in our case creating games and also playing games. So each week we're going to have a different guest on. So if we have a little look on the different options here, the stream every week is free, so all of these Patreon options, if you will, are 100% optional. If you'd like to back us, and I say you should, because we're doing our stuff for you right now. If you'd like to back us, it only costs as little as £1 a month. So I don't even know how to put that into terms. I mean, that's less than a bus ticket, like a bus ticket into town. That's like a sweetie these days. It's almost like going to a corner shop and saying, I'd like to have a little bar of chocolate. It's almost nothing. And for just £1, you get access to a host of fun little extras, which we're going to be discussing a little bit later because we've upgraded our Discord at our side. But most importantly, you get a big thanks from us. Thank you so much for backing us. If you could do that, that'd be amazeballs. And if you pop over to our Patreon, you also get yourself a funky little Rook ID, which gives you access to your own super secret, well, super special, at the cost of a supermarket trolley. I approve of that. You should bring up some of the comments, Lindsay, because that makes it more fun.
It is the cost of a supermarket trolley. Yeah.
But you get your £1 back there.
Not if you want to keep the trolley.
So yes, at £1 you get yourself your own special super secret title, and you also get your own super secret emoji, which Mark Gibbons, the RT Supremo, has put together down there. Long COVID and GMing. You should see the notes that I have to take after each of our meetings for the Rookery. I just have this big pile of notes in, of all things, Notepad. I don't know why I use Notepad. Who uses Notepad? But it's there. I just press note. And I have to go and catalogue that into a host of things just so I remember to do them next week. So, first one, £1. But if you're super generous, and we hope that you are, we also have other tiers. You can move up to being a brazen Rook. I mean, who doesn't want to be a brazen Rook? The brazen audacity of it. And as a brazen Rook, you also get everything that you got beforehand. But on top of that, you also get access to super secret chats and monthly streams that will be running down in the Discord channels, probably there. We may choose to do it inside StreamYards, much like this, but just privately. And we're going to be doing all manner of deep dive type posts. For example, Graham's currently planning up how to write and plan an adventure. which we've been discussing on and off. He's done this a few times at conventions, and he thought it'd be super fun for us to pull one together, possibly write it up as a group, and then publish it with the Rookery as well. And then I can possibly run a similar session later to show how we develop an existing idea that's already in place and turn that into a fully finished product. The £5 and up levels are for people who want to see how we get down with the nitty-gritty of things behind the scenes. Mark Gibbons, for example, will be showing things like his concept art for how he pulls everything together for the final images that will grace our gorgeous pages when they get there. And loosely speaking, you also get to chat with us all the time, as do the Rooks at the £1 level, because they all get access to our super secret Rook channels, which you'll see a little bit of a little bit after. Next up is Iron Rook. Who doesn't want to be an Iron Rook? Well, anyone who is perhaps a Golden Rook might not want to be an Iron Rook, but for the rest of you, your Iron Rooks get exactly the same as everything before, because we're not about trying to give you extra content for each one of our levels. This is more about a Patreon where you can patronize us, creating stuff that we love to create, so that you can then consume it as and when you want. We're not about putting everything behind barriers. Everything that we release will be released publicly in the end. So, for example, our blogs each week, they're going to be popping up for everybody, regardless of how hidden they were to begin with. And if, for example, Graham runs a nice little let's build this adventure, the adventures will also be released so that everybody can get access to them later. We're not about putting everything behind the paywalls. But for the people who do pay and help us out on the Patreon, they'll get access to all the stuff earlier. They get to chat to us behind the scenes. And as you may note there, you also get
influence content as well. So we've got some ideas about that.
Absolutely. As you may note there, then moves also to a personal welcome. We'll welcome pretty much every single patron that we have into our streams. But for the Iron Rooks and above, we'll actually name them and pop them out and say, you're the best, man. But everybody will get their name at the end of the streams where they pop in. So for all of our patrons that have already logged on, by the way, you guys rock, and gals, and anything else's. That was really uncomfy. Let's not do that one again. For all you people, much better. That's a far better word. For all you people who've already backed us, thank you very much. We then move up to our last one. We need to press this little button here for show all levels. Golden Rook. Now, much like the other 4 levels of Rook, you get your own special Patreon emoji if you're down in Discord, which only you can use. Other people can press on it if you do drop it down, but you're the only one at that rank who can use them. The Golden Rook gets their own special Golden Rook Discord channel where they can just talk to us with impunity. So far, we have 1 Golden Rook. And they're loving it. I won't drop their name. They're in there. We're chatting about being a Golden Rook. There's Golden Rooks flying across the channel. It's all kinds of awesome.
Cosplay. We don't have a tier for gnome cosplay yet. We could add one. We
perhaps require one for that. You get our unending...
Some might say, because I'm quite small, I gnome cosplay every day.
That is fair. You get our unending thanks for those who are doing that. Further, because we're chatting all the time, as we do things like develop our books and put things in place, if we have spaces or ideas as we go, you'll tend to find it with the Iron Rooks and the Golden Rooks that we'll turn to first and say, hey, we've got a space here. Has anyone got an idea? Which means that you can help us develop and move on with our books as well, which is just fun. You get to be behind the scenes, so to speak. It's what Inside the Rookery is all about. It's not just the streams that we do every week. It's also about getting behind the scenes for us, your tiny little indie RPG developer, and making a difference and seeing how everything works and gets put together. Cool. Anything you want to add to all of that, Lindsay?
No, I added as I went along.
Thanks. Let me just pull that down and say, look, it's us. Look at us there. Yay. 5 award-winning TTRPG professionals with over a century's combined experience.
I think that's just embarrassing.
I think Graham accounts for some of that. Are you going to move
us on and show us around the Discord?
Yes, let's go do that. I have my other window here. Now, one of the things you'll note that if you're already in our Discord, if you get behind the scenes, you'll note there's all manner of channels you can't see. There's the Parliament, and here's where we do all of our developing. Art and Design, now that's a super secret channel. Where Mark posts all about his... Oh.
Mark posts his genius in that channel.
Yeah. Whew. And sometimes, it's So yeah, there's the podcast and streams. That's us deciding whether we're going to do it, and then Mark saying yes, you're doing it because you said you would, and us going, oh yeah, let's do that. As we then go down to the Ravens Roost. If there's any Ravens out there, I say hi. The Ravens are our moderators. They have our little chat bit there. We then go down to, we're missing a channel. I missed one. There it is. Feathered Friends. That's where anyone who's helping us have got their own little special rooms. They hide in there. Nice little bit there for Corva testing, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Corva is the bot that we've got built for our Discord server by the wonderful, I'll use his online name rather than his real name, just in case he'd rather not have it shared, Eggburger. Eggburger is awesome. If you played Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay and you played it online on Discord, you probably used his Jodry block already, or his Yodry block, depending on your preference. Yodry's awesome, and Corva, as she's building, is equally awesome. We've got all manner of cool features built into that already, which we could probably pull up with a quick help file. Moving down past our friends, we go to the welcome area, which most of you have seen already. We go down to the support area. We go down to Rookery publication.
Zoltan says some people do combine multiple roles. It is true.
Indeed, guys, because some people are golden rooks. Which we can't go in there lest you be blinded by its brilliance. But it is down there. We go through all the other channels that we've got down to the bottom. One of the biggest updates that we've been doing recently on the Discord server is down with the roleplay rooms. It's not just that we're setting up the rooms so that people can roleplay. We're trying to set all the tools in place so that you can also find each other really easily. So even if you're not necessarily playing our stuff, or even if you're not watching our streams, you can still pop in, hopefully find a whole bunch of dedicated role players, and find someone who's playing something that's close to what you've got at hand. If I pop in there, and let's see if we can do it. What is the help? If Eggburger's online, he'll tell me immediately what it is for the group R, GROP. If I pull that up, hope I'm in the right room. No, let's go to, I think I am. Is it not back? Is it back down again? Oh,
I do not know.
There it is.
I am not a Discord wizard.
It's there. So there's, I don't know how well that shows on the stream, but it shows if you're actively looking for games, whether you're a GM or a player, whether you're doing one-shots or campaigns, play by post, play in person, playing online, with cameras, without cameras, whether it's combat-focused, whether it's not, whether you've got any mature themes in your games, whether it's player versus player, or whether it's very much a group set.
A new comment has come in. Remind me again where I share my genius. I seem to have misplaced it. It's because you left it in the art and design channel.
It's down there. There's a little white light showing.
I told you that.
So the bot handles all of that. Plus, we've actually got the channel as well where you can sit and chat and hopefully join games. The bot is currently in development, which means that we've got these parts public, but we also have a whole host of special features which only those who are currently behind the scenes have access to. If I go help, pardon me, see help. There we go. Now, you might not be able to read all of this, but at the bottom, it's got Rookery. Currently, these commands are in the patron playtesting area. In the patron areas, we've got a whole bunch of extra special commands, which are only available to those of us who back the, those of you who, pardon me, who've backed the patron. They'll be made public later. It's just so that we can test them out and make sure they work before we send them out publicly. And at the moment, we've got Prince. You may note that's the first one. That's a game called Prince in the Hole, which is an actual card game that features in one of our products, which is quite fun. We've got the Rookiepedia. The Rookiepedia gathers all of the glossary entries that you'll find across all of our expansions into one place. And as we release each book, we'll be adding to it with all the new things that have been added by that book. So no matter what you encounter in the book, if you do a quick Rookiepedia and the name of the character or the place or the story hook or just what on earth is a lamper. If I go somewhere with it, I could show you. And it'll pop up what that is inside the Rookiepedia. In fact, why don't I quickly go do that inside the bot area so you can see it in practice. Corva patron testing for, oh, someone's been playing with their own. Ahoy, a ship. We also have a ship generator. So if I go, have I got too many O's there? I do. Rookiepedia. I'm going to say Lamper since I said that. A second, let's see if it pulls it up. We have a Lamper, a light mace born by the city Learys. Now, if you want to know what a Leary is, you can just press A at the bottom and it'll immediately take you over to the Leary. And then it changes the whole setting that shows you a lamplighter. In the city, a black uniformed eerie Learys are regarded with superstitious awe. For it is they who bring light to the darkness. Famous for their bravery, Learys are indistinguishable by their long poles bearing slow matches, their lampers, the word we've already seen, and the sinister clack of their hobnailed boots. Super important.
Oxecutor says Rookiepedia sounds nice. I do like Rookiepedia. I've been playing with it and it is really good. What about spoilers in Rookiepedia?
Well, we are currently in discussion about how best to tackle these. So if Eggburger's online, he might completely deny everything I'm about to say. At the moment, I've gone through it with a bit of a fine-tooth comb to make sure I remove anything that's a potential spoiler, especially for story sections of the game. So we remove those spoilers. For example, if someone says, what is the, and puts in the word of a nasty creature, it's quite important to make sure that that's hidden. Now, we can drop those behind spoiler tags, but we can never be quite sure whether players will pay attention to those. So some of them will be locked behind a GM's key. You may notice that there is, for the GM lot of you out there, already a key symbol that's used. We'll hopefully be using that as a reaction to unlock certain GM tools. For example, if I quickly go here and go Corva and then secret, the secret command is locked for GMs. To unlock it, please react this message using the key. So I can pop over there, press add reaction and go key. And that immediately locks it up, and we get dark secrets going all over the place. Now, this is for our first adventure after Ship of Fools. This is What Rides Beneath, and What Rides Beneath has got a section which includes some dark secrets. I'm not going to share them out, though, because they are about as spoilery as you can get, particularly for the opening of that adventure. So that's another one of Corva's features. If I go see help again, is there anything else worth discussing at the moment? We've also got secret. We've got the ship, which generates your own ship. For example, if I go see ship, my ship is the Terrible Hind, a flying trading ship that flies random. And if you don't like what you get, I don't want a flying ship in my game today. I can just go dice and change that to, let's see what we get next. The Blue Daughter, a pirate ship with extra weapons with a capital E. So those extra weapons are clearly important. So that's your ship generator.
If it's a pirate ship with extra weapons and the extra is capital E, does that mean they just like look really fancy?
I think I can see
extra.
Mark, the great lover of pirates out there, almost certainly would make them as extra as he possibly could.
Exactly.
I'm envisioning skulls.
Normal number of weapons, but they are extra.
Yeah, totally. So that's the ship. We also have the Shipopedia. The Shipopedia works in a very similar fashion to the Rookepedia, except the Shipopedia draws from Wikipedia, and it gathers all of the
heavy pirate ship. I think
I'll go with that. Shipopedia. There we go. One Shipopedia. A random entry. It picked up factory ship, and you can again use the reactions at the bottom to move around. I could go to a mothership by pressing C, and it will change it to a vessel that leads, serves, or carries smaller vessels.
Cocked cannons ahoy. Set Mark on the cocked cannons.
Don't give him ideas! We're going to have cocked hat cannons in no time at all. Jaunty. So that's our Shipopedia, which is just chock full of extra nautical terms. That's again to support the release of the upcoming Ship of Fools. And finally, we have at the bottom Silver Seat, where if I go see Silver Seat, like so, that's an entire game where up to 5 players can play, and people can ante up, join the game, and they all get their own cards dealt to them in their private messages. For example, if I deal in those two, like so, have I got enough in? We've got no players. I just undealt myself like an idiot. We've got 1 player. There we go.
Oh, excellent. Adds cocked cannons to his work.
Oh, seriously? Whose idea was that? If any of you are out there in the thing, feel free to join the game. Oh, we've got 2 players. And if I go start the game like so, it immediately starts the game, and you'll notice up in the corner, it sent me a message because I have got a whole bunch of special rules to play the game if I want. And it then deals all the cards that I currently have. Oh, no, I'm playing the wrong game. That's Prince in the Hole. This is Silver Seat, which is just 3 dice. Playing the wrong one there. Anyway, so we've got games. The Prince in the Hole is the card game that I was mentioning, and Silver Sea is the dice game that we've currently got on. More games will be coming. We've got a slightly more complicated one currently in the pipeline. Did I win? I rolled a river. I don't need to be looking at this. I can't stop playing. Yes, we've got more games coming, and as each one of our adventures comes along, there's special stuff for the GM to do. For example, the GM gets access to a bunch of special flyers to just get handouts, that just goes to certain players. We'll have Corva deal with the automation of that behind the scenes for you. So if you play online, or even if just you and your friends who are playing have got access to Discord, you can just press the bot to send it off towards each other. Hopefully meaning that you get fewer interruptions at the game table, other than the ping, oh my god, I have this particular note. So Corva is there to hopefully make your games better in whichever way you want to involve it. And as is always the case with these things, Corva also has the inevitable dice rollers. I presume I can do 2d6. Or not. What's the dice roller command? I think it's just 2d6. Remember. It's just 2d6, isn't it? Yes, it is. Just 2d6. There we go. And all the dice that you could possibly imagine are in there, so you can play around with those too. Now, several of the core functions are already public, so you can access those now. But if you're one of our patrons, you've got access to the whole lot just sitting there waiting. I see that Egg Burger is online. Possibly Egg Burger is watching us.
Who knows? It's a mystery.
So yes, they're all there, ready and waiting for you if you wish to try them.
And will there be, so when those ones go live, will there be more that then patrons would see early later?
Yes. As we work through each of our products, there are obvious things that there we go. Hello, Egg Burger. Dr. Egg Burger. I read Dreg Burger. That's so much better than Dreg Burger.
Yeah.
Dr. Egg Burger, I presume. So Dr. Eggburger is hopefully going to be helping us put together a host of extra functions as each one of the adventures comes along. So say, for example, we had an adventure where it opens with everybody's in a casino. We'd organize those little casino games so that your players could play them if they wanted to alongside your core game. You don't need to. You could just roll a gamble roll or whatever that roll is in your game of choice, but those would be there as extra options. Plus, they're just there for livening up the Discord channel. So if you want to go and pop on there and while you're waiting for a game, just play a game of Prince in the Hole or play a game of Silver Sea, you can do so while everyone's gathering. Then once they're all there, you can then move over towards your game. It's there just to add extra bits of fun. And yes, the plan is for each one of our expansions to add extras in the same way that the Rookiepedia will expand with each one of the various products that we put out.
Whew. Thank you very much. That was a whistle-stop tour.
And an unplanned one.
Well,
so no spiel prepared on my side. I just kind of gone. So if you aren't our patrons already, we obviously would appreciate you becoming so, because even £1 makes a difference from us. It would be extraordinary if you came along and gave us a hand. Only £1 a month, it means nothing. But of course, if you want to be a golden rook, we're not going to say no, because golden rooks are awesome. And you can pop in and we'll all say hello to you if you pop up into our channel. Hi, Golden Rooks. However, our current one Golden Rook may be, disappointed to have to share.
He may guard his eyrie jealously.
The golden egg from the Golden Rooks. So that's everything we've got. Beyond that, though, we've been slowly but surely adding a host of new emojis as well, which we can't forget. Now, as I mentioned, there's a host of emojis which are currently locked down for each one of the levels. So if you are a Rook, you get yourself the Rook emoji, which I shall pop up. Anyone who's currently inside Discord will be wondering why the hell I'm posting it.
Just random
videos. But that's just the way it goes. If, for example, you are, where am I there? If you are a Brazen Rook, you've got your own Brazen Rook. If you are an Iron Rook, that's a word. Where's our Iron Rook? There it is. One Iron Rook. And then, of course, we have... But beyond that, we also have a host of other emojis that Mark has been putting together, like the arting god that he is. I'll leave them for you to explore and work through, be it funky little raven skulls, or be it the key for the GMs to unlock things. We can't miss the old key, whether it's a gorgeous wee feather that's just been put into play. Oh, we've already got somebody come in. Oh, somebody liking it where they like it. Hello, Eyeless Deceiver. Pancakes. Good to know. A host of new emojis. We do have some more planned. In particular, we have a current plan, which you're going to get early chat about, which we have not discussed publicly yet, but we just decided in our meeting earlier today. We are going to have ourselves an early bird special where all of our early birds, thank Mark for that, we all laughed, early birds, all the early birds. So anyone who becomes a patron of the stream inside the Rookery, and anyone who joins within the first month from the point when we announce it, which will be this Saturday, will get access to a permanent early bird title and a permanent early bird emoji that will be for them alone. That's it. No one else will get it. There will be no more early bird awesome at a later date. So if you do pop in within the next month, you'll get access to the early bird emoji for perpetuity. It's going to be sitting there just for you to use, and you'll be able to drop it. Even if in 4 years' time, you'll be able to go, early bird, click. And show just what sort of early bird awesome. And when someone goes, where did you get that emoji from? You can go, early bird, click, because you're an early bird. So that's for anybody who joins the Patreon over the course of next month. But that's going to be declared formally on Saturday. But, you know, I'm here, so I've done it. I can hear the other sneak preview. Always a fun way to deal with a... Ooh, Golden Roots have said stuff. I should move away.
Sassy Pancake says, and if you're a Nitro user, you can use it cross-server.
Oh...
Good bit of info there.
Your own bit of early bird awesome that you can use anywhere on Discord. From Mark Gibbons. Be still my beating heart. So
your flapping heart, surely.
Oh, I think that would be better, wouldn't it? My flapping.
Your flapping wing.
That way. Be still my flapping heart.
Nice.
I'm all a flap. So yes, I've been mentioned. I've been mentioned all the way down and found a game. Oh, interesting. Try the bot room. There we go. So we can do the things. I shall do. And I presume this is for game R. No, it's not for that. That's what I expected. Never mind. I just presumed Ed Burger was telling me to try the game R tool down there. So there we go. That's all of the functions that have been added for Corva. We briefly run through those with a whistle stop tour. We've gone through the emojis. We've gone through that. There's a whole host of special rooms, if I roll down there, for our Rookery patrons. And these will develop as we progress onwards. You'll notice that the clamor down there is our Discord streaming bit. So we're going to pop in there and we'll chat to you every once in a while in that room. And that's where we'll be holding the, I think it's Brazen Rook and Higher chats as well, probably, although we might run it in a special room like this, where we'll all get to sit down and have a chin wag about whatever the topic of the day is. So we've been through those, and you know that we will have special guests every single week. Oh, look at that. You know that we'll have special guests every single week as well. Our guests this week, I think, have already been passed out to the Rookery patrons. But if I go in there and go to posts, if I go to published, let me just see if I can pull it out for you all. September shenanigans, view it.
Yep.
If I pull that up, you'll be able to see our first ones. And this month, we've got Steve Saville coming in on this Saturday, actually, where we're going to be discussing building better worlds, discussing the process of building role-playing books. We've already got from one of the Rooks inside the private chambers a lovely question concerning the software that's used and how to best use those. So that'll be definitely popping up as well as one of the questions. What software do we use to write, and how do we keep our iterations in different versions live or not live or hidden? Or do we just run in Word, or do we do it online? Those things will be discussed. Steve, if you don't know Steve already, as I think we've got a nice little description here. Oh, that's just the guest. I'll go back one post.
Oh, Genghis Keith says, while you're finding it, I have to run in a few minutes to acronyms. I'm not good at acronyms. First face-to-face game in over a year, but I love what you're doing, and I'm proud to be a patron. Keep up the great work.
Thank you
very much, Genghis.
That's enormously appreciated. Thank you, Genghis Keith. You're the best. So yes, there's Steve. Steve is the author of over 50 novels, tie-ins, RPGs, and computer games. He's prolific. So he knows a thing or two about creating and developing fantasy worlds and working within existing fantasy settings, including Warhammer, Doctor Who, Stargate, and really a whole heck of a lot more. Steve's written tons. If you want to go check his website out, I recommend it, stevesaville.com. You'll see a whole ton of stuff up there. But we also have Henrik Rosenberg. Oh, there we go.
I knew it was Pathfinder 2nd edition. I worked that out. Friendly local gaming store. I think maybe we need a Discordopedia that has acronyms just for me. That would be fine.
Next, we have Henrik. Henrik's great. I worked with Henrik on Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, and if you've been following the latest releases from Free League, particularly the recent Kickstarter for Forbidden Lands, he did all of the art for it, pretty much. His art was all over it. He's amazing. So we'll be discussing Imagining the Fantastic, and trust me, I'm pretty sure good old Mark Gibbons will be there, because if there's one thing he likes to imagine, it's the fantastic. And on the 25th of September, we have the even more prolific Matt Forbeck. Matt's done pretty much everything. You'll note here from the nice little description that from editing rules for Games Workshop back in the 80s to developing his own shotguns and sorcery RPG today, Matt Forbeck is an expert in game rules, so much so that he's recently tapped into developing the Marvel universe for its own role-playing game. So he's going to be on discussing switching rule sets, because he recently has been converting one of his games, indeed Shotguns and Sorcery, from one rule set over to a completely different one. And the challenges that were imposed there speaks an awful lot to what we're doing with the Rookery as well, where we're presenting material that can work with any rule set. So switching rule sets is, I think, going to be a super fascinating discussion. So that's on September the 25th, and that's the guest for this week. But beyond that, we're also going to have a host of, as I mentioned, streams for the patrons where we discuss some smaller bits, and we also intend some feature streams, which we'll discuss a little more later. I have one bubbling away in the background just now, and hopefully it will come out. It'll be one that, as someone who, well, it excites me because I think it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be a really fun one. More on that later. Excellent.
Thank you very much. Thanks for that tour around the Patreon and also Discord. So I think we will leave it there so we can go for our evening walk.
Evening walk? What? I could map or something.
Oh, hang on. There's a question here. Same Matt Forbeck that wrote Blood Bowl novels.
Yes. As I say, he's prolific. He's done just about everything. Matt's great. So the answer is yes. On that, how do we feel for this as a tool to do things like perhaps pulling up a bit of Photoshop, good old Photoshop, and maybe trying out maps, maybe streaming drawing stuff. Maybe Mark would like to stream in this sort of format as well, or maybe you'd like to do it in Discord, or maybe you'd like to squirrel away and just show you finished pieces. But I can pull up screens here and chat away about whatever it is that I happen to be doing on a particular week. Let's just close that off. What do we feel about it? If you like it, pop in some comments, or alternatively drop into Discord and chat there. If you think we'd be better on a different platform, tell us. If you've used another platform, or if you've seen someone else use it and you think it's awesome, tell us, and we'll have a quick investigate, because we are, as this entire stream probably shows, making it up as we go along. And we're enjoying ourselves immensely, but we really don't necessarily know what we're doing. What did you, oil painting there, what did you miss? You missed everything!
You can't just default to the mail.
No, I'm pretty sure I know who oil painting is.
Oh, well, that's fair then.
But you've suddenly made me doubt myself. So I'm going to retract from that fast, because I could be wrong. What did you miss? You missed us discussing the Patreon, and you missed us discussing all the cool new features that we have on Discord, and missed us discussing how we should stream doing future live stuff in the future, which we just moved on to. 30 minutes of slagging off gnomes, the usual. Yeah. Yeah. Just reading the comments there. So if you do have any ideas for different platforms for streaming, do tell us. But if you think this will work neatly, then I'm more than happy to give this a go. For example, if you'd like me to do a quick map of something, we could very easily just decide that on the Discord channel. Decide where it'll be, like, I don't know, a quick island. An island's always a good start. Show how these things are put together. And I'll show you the basics of how I do it just in Photoshop. Photoshop is quite different to, say, for example, doing it with a piece of mapping software. Mapping software, it's just a matter of use that brush. I've now got an island. Use this brush. It's now covered in stuff. Where if you're doing it by hand, every single last detail is drawn. So seeing that process could be fun. And if you'd like that, do drop into Discord and tell us.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for everyone who has popped along. As always, hashtag Save Alphonse. And we will. Oh, Roderick says that sounds nice, Andy.
Thank you. And yeah, if you like the idea of doing midweeks on the Wednesday, do tell us, because Wednesdays we tend to get together as the Rooks anyway, so one or two of us will probably be free. And if you'd like to have a chat afterwards about stuff, or we could organize some streams, again, pop into Discord, go into the Inside the Rookery channel and pop your ideas in there, or pop up to suggestions if you've got yourself something that's not just the normal, I'd like you to stream about maps, or let's discuss role-playing if you've got a completely different idea. Like, for example, I want a cooking show. Since you've opened a new cookery channel, I would like Lindsay to cook every Wednesday about her favourite fantasy recipes. Sure. And if that's the case, drop in suggestions.
Yeah, Long Shadow says they would love to see a work in progress on what tools you use. We this time actually worked well. Yeah, it's quite good for us, except I'm in a studio that doesn't belong to me, and the person who owns this studio would like it back. So I'm afraid the stream is now coming to a close.
It comes crashing to a fast close as one of the Rookery interns demands her office back.
Exactly. I will pop up. So you've got all the info, the stream info on Saturday, and we will leave you and see you on Saturday night. Thanks,
Indeed.
everyone.
We'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.